Fantasy, sports, and politics.
Get ready to rumble!
You wanna talk smack? You in the right place. So take a step back before I get all up in your
Remember, because I don't remember. I remember every bit of this.
The dude's holding on the phone line. Your voice will be heard, sir.
Next caller, please.
Jerry's gonna get him.
Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics.
Listeners are asking questions about this week's games, not Jerry's personal beef. So what's your... Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Fantasy Sports and Politics. Today is a politics show. Okay. Let me adjust my channel real quick. How should I say this? There's a great deal of things going on in the United States that is bothersome. I mean, very bothersome. I'll put it this way. If you feel like I feel, come on, let's get it on. Look, when Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's actually a federal employee because of her position in Congress, says there are no good federal employees. They all are blah, 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 blah. She doesn't realize she's talking about herself, firstly. She is not bright. I'm going to say it. She is not bright. She was such a staunch and is such a staunch supporter of the president. Why wasn't she one of his cabinet members? Just one of the cabinet members. She would fit right in because there's only like maybe one or two people of any hue other than what the president is that's a part of that cabinet. Secretary of anything. I'm not lashing out at Representative Greene. What I am saying, though, is her attitude and her thought process of there's no good federal employee. Those are her words, not mine. I might be paraphrasing, but that's what she said. In Congress, no less. Not on the street when she's getting interviewed, not in the hallways of Congress while being interviewed, not at a town hall, but on the floor of an open session. She said that. An elected official said that. Now, I couldn't say a lot of things while I was in the military. Right now, I still can't say a great deal, but I'm going to say my piece. When you serve this country, you serve the bigots, you serve the LGBTQ community, you serve the racist, you serve the misogynistic, the sexist, area of people. You serve all walks of life when you're in the military. When you are a House of Representative, you represent every person in your district. Every person in Miss Taylor's district is not like her. They may look like her. They may even think like her. But I'm quite sure all of them are not heterosexual. All of them aren't white. All of them aren't blonde. Now, the mindset might be the same, but it's a different freaking, I'm trying not to curse. It's a different freaking set of people that you serve as an elected official and as well as a military service member. So when you're in uniform and when you're working at Congress, whether it's House of Representative or the Senate, you work for people, whether you like them or don't like them, whether you agree with them or you don't agree with them. She's not the only one to make comments like that, but she's the only one to say something stupid like that, especially when you have federal employees all around you and you are a federal employee, you idiot. I don't care about the way people perceive someone else. I don't. If you think that your best way to make it to the top is to, brown nose, be a kiss ass, and just, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, all the way to the top. It happens. Don't get me wrong. I've seen it throughout my military career. I have seen it. I detest it because I've worked with people like that. I've called a lot of them out. And people above me, I called them out. Didn't have a lot of friends. There are a lot of people that claim to be your friends and be supporters to your face, but behind closed doors, they just yapping of how bad you are because the person they're talking to is above them or has some power over them, and they just want to agree. Now that leads me to another subject matter. Mr. Musk, not Congressman Musk, not House of Representative Musk, not Senator Musk, not President Musk, not Vice President Musk, and that's where I'm going to go with this. Not Secretary Musk. None of it. Elon Musk is a private citizen that has the title of special government employee to the president or advisor to the president. He literally has no federal or even state authority to do anything. But based upon the proximity to the president and his $200 million contributions during the election, during the campaign, I should say, Elon Musk bought him a lot of power and influence. He's already the richest man in the world off of government contracts and subsidies. Not Tesla, not X, formerly known as Twitter, but government contracts and subsidies. So if we're going to look at fraud, waste, and abuse, and we're going to look at where to trim the fat, look at how much and how many contracts Elon Musk has with the United States government. Conflict of interest. There's a reason why JAG officers in the military got terminated that were the highest ranking JAG officers, because they're the ones that enforce the rules and regulations of the Uniform Code of Military Justice. Meaning, if somebody violates it and it gets, to that point, those individuals were the ones to say, yeah, according to this rule and regulation, this must take place. Not arbitrarily based upon what one commander wanted to happen. Because that's what, in essence, will happen in the military. Civilian world, regular world. If Elon Musk says something or pushes it out on Twitter and he slides it to OPM, and OPM then sends emails out to 2.3 million, which is a lesser number now, people that work for the federal government, which Marjorie Taylor Greene says nobody works for them. Stupid, man. And then OPM says, which is Office of Personnel Management, which handles all the federal employees' paperwork and stuff like that. OPM then says it's optional. And different secretaries of these various organizations under the Trump administration tell their employees, don't reply. No need to reply. But then you have those organizations that tell their employees to reply. They make them reply because they're like, well, now we're going to include this in what we do. But there's no guidelines for it, but now we want you to do it. Yeah, about that. A civilian, a citizen who's not even an American. Least we forget, Elon Musk is still South African. He is not a U.S. citizen. But he has the power as if he were the president, or, I'm about to put it, the vice president. I'm going to tell you guys something. J.D. Vance is the vice president of the United States, right? J.D. Vance should be heading up Doge or the actions of Doge, right? Second most powerful man in the country, right? Wrong. Elon Musk seems to be the most powerful man in the country. He's already the most wealthiest man in the world. If you don't believe anything I'm saying, look at yesterday's cabinet meeting. And if you've ever been in any type of corporate meeting or for the military, a command and staff meeting, the commander, the CEO, they lead that meeting. They set the tone for that meeting. Then they turn it over to the people in the room. But when you allow Elon Musk, a private citizen that's not even American to open up and pretty much tell the cabinet members, I know some people here, don't like what's going on, bro, but we're going to get it right. What planet are we on? Better yet, what country are we in? Think about that. And if you didn't see it, you might want to go look it up. I don't care what platform you look it up on. You can't alter that video. You can't alter that reporting. You can put a slant on it from your viewpoint. But Elon Musk has wreaked havoc on the lives of millions of people. Another fun fact, because I'm waiting for Earl DuPont. Hey, Earl, I'm calling you out since you say this is nothing but opinion, but you want to say that Dems are this, Dems and that. Come on the show and defend it. Defend your logic. But back to the point about Elon either being the vice president or having so much power that he's above the vice president. Some have said he's president. I'm not going to go that far. I can't go that far because, Donald Trump, president of the United States, has done a lot of things, a lot of executive orders and stuff like that Elon hasn't. So I'm not going to label him the president, but he's acting like he's the president with all this action he's doing. They literally want to fire 5,000 people a day. 5,000 a day. Today, all of those USA ID workers are fired. They went from like 3,300 to 300 people. And I get it. Most organizations can run off of 300 people. But when you're a global entity, you need more than 300 people. But I just use it for example because during that cabinet meeting, joking and smiling about it, he said he made a mistake and we fixed it. By my count, that's the third or fourth mistake that they made by firing people, that they only used a computer to decide whether a person was worthy to work or not. The nuclear safety people. Oh my. Might you want to look at those people and what they do before you fire them and then have to hire them back? Now, I know some of the people probably like, well, you know what? I'll go back. What if these people say no? And they're the only ones that are capable of doing their jobs, and that's why you have to get them back. USAID, which is USAID, fired all these people, realized that the measles prevention group, Ebola group shouldn't have been fired, but they were fired. And then you're like, oh, well, we fixed it. We admit our mistakes. There's a lot of mistakes, a shit ton of mistakes that have taken place. I'm going to tell you, to give that citizen, remember, citizen, not elected, not appointed, not screened. I don't even know if he has a security clearance, an official security clearance. Kanye West said, something about no one man should have all this power. People dying by the hour. Now, new Kanye, I ain't gonna touch that. But he rocking with them, doing the same salutes as him. And if you say that what Steve Bannon did and Elon Musk did was not a Nazi salute, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. But what I will say about this is JD Vance, what has he done other than give a terrible speech to the European leaders? He's the vice president. President Trump, when asked, is JD ready to be the president in 2028? Without hesitation, Trump says no. Look it up. Fox interview. But he's your number two. If something happens to you, he's the one that steps in automatically. But you don't think in 4 years he's ready to take over? Oh, Miss Caesar. I'm glad you brought up. How you doing, Christina? What about selling gold cards to rich folk who will come here and pay no taxes and deporting those that are trying to get green cards who pay billions in taxes? Don't get me started on that. That was another topic I was going to get to. I can transition to that after I finish this. Keep me honest, though. If Elon Musk is not an elected official, not an appointed official, why does he have so much power to do the things he's doing? You would be afraid to go up against Trump and his group of people if you had integrity. I mean, if you didn't have integrity. So you give in. You do what he says. Musk tweets it out on his platform X, and then it happens. And the president don't even know that these things are happening, because when he's getting asked in the pressers or after he has some event, it's like, oh, I think that's a good idea, a great idea. What does JD Vance do? Why is the richest man in the world looking to shut down and cut agencies? Very simple. He has billions in dollars in contracts with the United States government. If these agencies can't function, what happens? They get contractors. Now, I have a legitimate and I have an authentic viewpoint from this, because while in the military, I did contracts while I was deployed. I saw a great deal of money for jobs that service members could have done. So I'm making the correlation. We contracted out to do certain things that we've trained service members to do, put them through school for, and they're at different units to do those things. Well, when we were deployed, a lot of those service members could not do their jobs that they were trained to do because they were contracted out. Understand that in the federal government, you are trained to do a certain job. You come in with a certain skill set. You cost way less than those contracts because those contracts are renewed every year at 10% plus what it was the previous year. I'll give you an example. I'm not going to say what the contract is, but there was a $364 million contract for 12 months to do something we have highly trained and highly skilled people to do. So $364 million that year goes up by 10% or went up 10% the following year that they had to, because I think it was like a 3-year contract, but it wasn't a no compete contract. So others could compete, but because this person or this company already had it in, they already had the specs, everything like, you can write a contract to specify what you want that only that company can provide. Hence, that company gets the contract. So when you cut all these people and then you bring in musketeers or whatever, who benefits? Musk and his company. No one else. The fact that those employees at Doge quit because they didn't want to do anything that was going to be detrimental to the nation's security and things of that nature, that should tell you what he's doing is wrong. And he's not even the vice president. He's not even the president. But this goes into Miss Caesar Kemp. Yeah, Miss Caesar Kemp brought up. The president literally on live TV said they're going to go to a gold card if you have $5 million to come into the country. Obviously, he don't care who comes unless they look like me or some other people. Then the standard might change. But how many cartels can afford $5 million to send their person here to run a legit business, but a dirty business behind it? And to Christina's point, you're deporting and have deported, albeit, I get it, illegal immigrants that were paying taxes. They were paying taxes because their employers had to pay taxes. Produce. I challenge you to go look at orange fields, apple fields, vineyards, farms. I challenge you to find, matter of fact, forget that part. I saw 2 reports recently that showed a lot of these homes that are being constructed no longer have the workers who are pretty much day laborers, but they're subcontracting under the contractor to build these homes. So homes are left in the middle of the process. But yeah, let's bring somebody into the country that has $5 million on a green card that has an easier path to citizenship than someone that comes to the country legally, has to wait 10, 25 years to become naturalized. I got a friend from my military days that I'm not going to mention her, but she's dope. She's dope. She was German. Well, she is German. But just before the election, she got her U.S. citizenship. Took the test, took the oath, became a U.S. citizen. After a decade and a half, something like that, before she's even eligible to do it. But I got $5 million and I get to come here and chill out. Now, let's not forget, the first lady was an illegal immigrant. Let's not forget that. It's true. She overstayed her visa for a long time. A long time. But she's okay. And I guess she was okay because the president married her, had a child with her. But wasn't she an illegal immigrant? Yeah. This whole gold card is about money. It's a money grab. Former soldier, he's no longer a soldier, got out of the military. But I knew him while I was in as well. He made a point to say that this is no different than people marrying others for like $5,000, $10,000 to become American citizen. And we as Americans took enemy combatants that provided information, that were translators and things of that nature, and gave them citizenship for what they did for the nation. Quid pro quo, right? That's exactly what this is. You give me $5 million, I'll let you come here. You got to have some type of business, and I'll let you stay. As I said, cartels have many, many resources. So probably not the best thing. And the way they're vetting things, look, put it this way. If they vet the people to get that $5 million gold card the same way that Elon and the rest of those folks are vetting people to fire at the federal government, oh, we in big, big, big trouble. Big, big trouble. Big trouble. The more money you have, more influence, power, and accessibility you get. That's the precedence that the president is setting. I'll be honest with you. If you're telling me this little piece of plastic is $5 million or more, I hope that doesn't go through. But to say it out loud and to say there's a plan to make it happen, ladies and gentlemen, this is only month one. Month one. And from what I've seen, it's going to get terrible over the next 2 months. This is why I'm having a political show today. I haven't had a political show in 13 years, 13, 14 years. I've been doing my programs for 15, having other hosts on the network, stuff like that, 15 years. I literally can say from the age of 27 up until my current age, I've been a federal employee. And I know I've done my job, Marjorie Taylor Greene. I know you're talking about yourself when you say there's no good federal worker because you're a federal worker and you're no good. What have you done other than become a spectacle for President Trump, who did not even put you in his cabinet? I'm going to tell you what I'm feeling and what others have said to me. They want more Marjorie Taylor Greene type people to shut the fuck up and Jasmine Crockett's to step up and step out. That is exactly what I'm hearing from people that don't normally say that, but they want the Democratic Party to be more of what the Republican Party is. Now, Marjorie Taylor Greene didn't mess with Jasmine Crockett after she called her the 6 Bs. And she shouldn't. AOC, she was the first one to say F Hillary Clinton and the Clintons. Her and I forgot what they were called at the time. But they were the ones to say F the Clintons because the Clintons' way of doing things was not working. And I'm going to tell you, I don't know what philosophy they're using, Democratic Party's using right now, but it's not working. You have a lot of frustrated people. I'm going to reiterate, 231 million eligible voters, 77 million voted for President Trump. Not that many voted for Kamala, but a great deal sat at home. I'm not mad at President Trump. I'm going to call him President Trump because that's his title. And a friend of mine, Brian Linhart, I learned a good lesson from him, even though at the time, I didn't realize it. When President Obama got elected the first time, I was there on the mall documenting it, part of my job. And I knew Brian was not happy with the results. He didn't want President Obama to get it. And I asked him about it. And he said he was just doing his job. No ifs, ands, buts, no biases. He was doing his job. And I'm gonna tell you right now, that spoke volumes to me, knowing his position, lifelong Republican. But when you have the president of the United States, no matter who it is, want to present you something, want to, meet or whatever, I say do it because of the office, not because of the person. I don't agree with 95% of what Donald Trump and his cabinet or his administration has done. Yes, I agree that we need to clean up immigration. I don't agree with the way it's happening. Not whatsoever. Not whatsoever. I don't agree with the way they're cutting and firing people in the federal government. Could there be some things done with employees? Yes. But again, firsthand knowledge, it's those contracts. Cancel those contracts. Two or three of Elon's contracts, you get your $1 billion. You get your $2-3 billion. I'm not even kidding. SpaceX, cool. But a lot of these other contracts, that's where your fat is. Not the civil servant who just got the job. No performance appraisal. No real time to show how valuable they are or aren't. This 5-bullet thing. Look, man. Coming from the military, writing a bullet ain't a problem. Writing a bullet for someone who does not have any need to know of what you do, is not in your chain of authority, not even a federal employee, is ridiculous. I go back to what I said before, how some of the cabinet members, some of the secretaries, like, no, you guys ain't got to do that. DOD stood up. Heck, Seth, probably the only thing, I'm going to talk about what they're doing to DOD. I read it today. I'm going to read it from my phone too. HUD, I believe, as well. FBI as well said, look, y'all ain't got to do that. Office of Personnel Management says it's optional. But to those organizations and agencies that made their civil servants go through with that, it sends one signal to me. I don't know what it sends to anybody else, but to me, it says you want to make inroads with the president and Elon. When you have some staff members say, you got, my folks ain't doing that. It shows it can be pushed back on. It shows that it is not necessary. Elon even said it. He's fucking with you. He's doing a temperature check, a pulse check. Really? I'm going to say this, but I do not advocate violence toward people like this at all. I do not whatsoever. Stuff like this is why you have the Luigi, the dude that shot the medical CEO. You want a temperature check? Look, you're turning stuff like that turns people into Deadpool as opposed to Batman. And if you don't know the difference, I'll give you a quick explanation. Batman is violent. Batman will do just about anything to get the job done, but he won't kill you. Deadpool will do everything Batman does times 2, and he will kill you. Don't think that our lives are for sport. This is not Gladiator. This is not let me see what I can get them to do today, because what you're going to end up doing is causing people to have breakdowns. People have mental issues as it is. That if you really would like to see what happens when you continue to do stuff like, there is a series, a franchise. It's called oh my God, I just had it in my head. The One Night You Get to Kill Everybody. I forget what it's called right now, but that's where you're headed with all this stupidity. The Purge. You're gonna have people doing crazy shit because they are off their rockers based upon what you're doing to them mentally, as well as to their families. I don't agree with that behavior, but what I'm telling you is there's a right way to do this thing and there's a wrong way. Right now, we are 1,000% wrong in the way that things are being done. 1,000%. No compassion, no thought, and just data driven. And it's not even full data. It's not even complete data. There's this gold card. What the gold card? It's exclusive. Okay, put a target on somebody's back. I got a lot more to say, but I'm gonna bring in Mr. Taylor, who's able to join me right now. And before I bring him in, I want to let him know I've talked a little bit. I still have another topic. I'm gonna talk about what DOD is about to face. It got released a day or so ago, and I've got some information that I want to share. DOD ain't even safe. But I asked the question, is Elon Musk more powerful than the vice president? I've stated, thanks to Christine Caesar Kemp, about the gold card situation. I've talked about just laying people off arbitrarily with no thought, and then having to bring people back because you didn't even know who you were firing. But let me bring you in real quick to get your thoughts on these topics, Mr. Taylor.
Complete chaos.
Huh?
Complete chaos. That's what I'm saying. Complete chaos. It's Elon Musk is the punching bag.
He's a punching bag?
He's the punching bag for Trump. So
please explain, because the way I'm thinking about that is like you're saying he's the one that's the sacrificial lamb. I don't know if you're saying that or not.
To me, he's a sacrificial lamb. That's exactly what I'm saying. He's a sacrificial lamb.
You got to explain that.
Well, because the fact is, Trump said he brought him in to find waste and abuse.
Fraud,
waste
and abuse. Yep.
He also said on Fox, that, along with Elon Musk sitting next to him, that Medicare and Medicaid we're not going to get touched.
Mm-hmm. But look what they're doing. Let me
put it this way. Medicaid, for the most part, is a lot of MAGA are collecting Medicaid.
And if he wasn't president, he will be eligible too.
Yes. A lot of MAGA is collecting Medicaid. So a lot of MAGA who voted for who's in the White House right now, you voted for that. You voted, you cut off your nose to spite your face. A lot of them are surprised that this is happening. But you voted for this. You voted for this. Okay? You can't be surprised. Because
go ahead.
You can't be surprised because you voted for this. You fell for the okie doke during the campaign, saying he wasn't going to touch this, he wasn't going to touch that. You fell for the okie doke.
Banana in the tailpipe. Now, here's the thing. When you say stuff like that, it was another topic I was going to talk about. But since you brought it up, might as well slide it in now. The Senate leader, Mike Johnson, said,
you're talking about the House of Representatives leader.
That's House of Representatives. Thank you. Mike Johnson said that there were, at these town halls, that there are Republican-led town halls, there were filled with Democrats who had all those complaints.
Yeah, okay. I
know. And even some of his Republican, senators said, no, some of them were really my constituents. I know them. But to sow that seed, just not to say that they're going about this wrong, speaks volumes of the morality and integrity of these people.
Let me put it this way. Okay. The best way to justify what's happening is say there's a lot of waste and abuse. That's justified. And then because of the fact you keep saying the lie over and over again, people are going to start to believe it.
They're going to start to believe it.
Okay.
Yep. And it gets repeated.
Thinking that's the truth. A dictatorship, you trash the media, you trash the government, saying there's all kind of fraud and including the FBI, that the Department of Justice is weaponized against Trump or whoever is a MAGA, and people start to believe that. And when you start to believe that, that leads to being easy to become a dictatorship, because the fact is they're paying attention to the person that's saying the media is corrupt, the Department of Defense is corrupt. There's a lot of waste and abuse in the federal government, and even though you can't justify it, or even though that it's a lie, I keep saying it. If it's a lie and you keep telling it, people are going to say, "Oh, that's the truth." Okay, but if you come out and see the evidence is there. For instance, Elon Musk said that there's a lot of waste and abuse in Social Security. People are collecting checks in Social Security that are 350 years old, 150 years old, or over a century years old. No, it's a old system, and I can't think of the system it is. It's an old system that hasn't been updated, and if you put the new system into the old system, it looks like these people that over 100 are collecting, but in essence, they're not.
And then after putting all that out in a boisterous way, you quietly walk it back.
Yeah.
Because it's proven to be false.
Yes.
But you were very boisterous.
Yes.
With your false claims.
Yes.
So again, there are, and I'm gonna tell you. That's why I was mad at you in the chat. Because that's why I said, what the fuck were you saying? Because I was pissed when I made my post, and then you wanted to poke the fucking bear. So boy, you man.
Man, look, I knew you were upset, but come on, man.
Silence,
Come on, man.
silence. I kill
Come
you.
on. You must have heard some news or something came over.
I learned a lot, and I was very pissed. But and again, as you can tell, on the politics show, I'm a curse. But on the sports show, I'm not going to curse. But let me read this real quick.
Well, you turned this to, I thought this was supposed to be sports. I thought Tuesday.
Oh, no. This is a political show. This is all political. Tonight is all politics. We can talk about the combine.
Okay.
I'll do a show Saturday, maybe. But normally, okay, you're right. Ladies and gentlemen, normally Thursdays will be the sports show and Tuesdays will be the political show. But I waited till today to do the political show. I'm kind of glad I did.
You want to
because I would have missed. I would have missed a lot of information. What?
You wanted to load up on Thursday.
Oh, yes. So what I'm going to read to you all, I got from defense.gov, which is the DOD's official website.
Are you supposed to be disseminating this? Are you supposed to make this public?
This is on their website, open source.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm just asking.
I don't work for DOD anymore.
Okay.
So I can say what the fuck I want.
Oh, okay. Whatever.
And you missed it. I said some stuff earlier. You would have been proud of me. But I don't care if you're proud or not. All right. The Department of Defense has announced plans to reduce its civilian workforce by approximately 5 to 8%, translating to about 42,000 to 67,000 positions, based on a civilian workforce of 840,000. This reduction will begin with the termination of 5,400 probationary employees starting next week. Following these initial layoffs, which was a week ago, the DOD will implement a hiring freeze to assess further personnel needs. With the planned reduction of 42,000 to 67,000 civilian positions, representing a 5% to 8% decrease in the DOD's approximately 840,000 civilian workforce, it's likely that a substantial number of veterans will be affected. Based on the 45.8% veteran representation, an estimated 19,000 to 31,000 veterans could face job losses due to these cuts. Now, what I'm going to tell you, the second part was from a study. What I'm going to tell you is this. And that 45.8% is probably a little higher. Veterans get into the federal government in the GS system.
Yep.
Because it's something they're familiar with. They might even get into the civilian sector of the job they did while in the military because it's what they know. I'm a GS-12. I am doing what I did in the military, but for my organization. And I'm new.
You're probationary?
Made the cut. Yeah, I'm probationary. I barely made the first cut. So I know during this second cut, which is coming up really soon, really, really soon, there's a very high percentage that I am terminated. And I know that. It just so happens I was hired at a time where my position was needed where I'm located. But it'll be very easy to say you've survived or your business has survived, not your business, your agency has survived X amount of years without this position. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So is that stressful? Yes and no. Yes, because I don't want to be terminated. But then I look at all the people that I work with, they're going to get terminated. And I'm like, yo, old boy is good, but he going to get fired. Because that's some stuff that I can't share. I don't know exactly who the people are, but I know the parameters. And when I look at it, I say, people thought because they work for DOD, they were safe, right? That ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen. I did not, Christine. I did not. But from what I have seen, unless he extends it, or the judge, I don't know if it's male or female, if the judge extends it for a long, it happened at 6:30? So it happened while I was doing the show. Okay, cool. Thank you for that, Christina. I know it's Christine, but I keep calling you Christina.
That's Kelly.
I know, but I know her personally. I know her first name. Kelly's not her first name. But if that's the case, I hope it goes through March. That's all I can say. I doubt it, but I hope it goes through March. Because
you know my response to that is
what?
Why March?
I can say this part because it's been put out. By a certain day in March, every organization has to give a plan to Doge as to how they plan to downsize. I can also say this because the president said it and Elon said it. They're riffing people. You know what a riff is?
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be a massive riff coming. Don't know the date, but a massive riff is coming. And that means not only probationary people, but people that have been working at their jobs for 10 years, so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
They're not quite able to retire, but they've got tenure.
Well, let me ask you this a question. This is another question I got to ask. Are they offering any kind of
They did.
package?
They did, but that time is over. That was something called fork in the road that you heard about in the news, where people had to make a decision within like a couple of days. You recall the news talking about that?
Couple of days.
Beginning of February, Elon had OPM send out a notice telling people you can resign now and you'll get paid your regular salary through September 30th. That is it. You can retire now and have your retirement date happen, blah, 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 blah. But you will no longer work after September 30th. Christina says they're going to do something. Wait a minute. They're going to do something drastic in March so they don't have to pay when they recover from the shutdown. Aha! I didn't say it. Christine, I ain't going to put your, well, you already got your name up there. Those are your 3 last names. Most of those people got fired anyway and didn't get the fork. Absolutely. But I know several people that got the fork. I know a lot of people that got the fork. In fact, but the thing about it is, some folks said they would have taken it, but since there were no real guarantees that they were going to get their money because the package is this: you go on administrative leave, right? You don't work for your federal agency anymore, but you can still go find a job. So you're going to get paid. You're going to double dip, right?
Sure. I know what that is.
But some people were like, I don't know if they're really going to pay me my money and stuff like that. So folks didn't do it. But some folks were like, F it. I'm out. In my agency, in my regional agency, 24 people took it, right? But a lot more wanted to. A lot more wanted to. I'll say that. Let me see. Uh-oh. So let me read some responses to some of my posts. Let me do that. All right. Maybe they'll come on. As far as the green card thing goes, let me tell them to come on the show. I'm live right now. All right. So one of the responses, and his name is Devesio Kinsey. Like I said, former good soldier. America was built off illegal business, though. Nobody talks about it, but Pablo Escobar technically advanced America after the free labor from African Americans. Well, yeah, he meant to put it somewhere. American people already by the way out of trouble, whether that's by money or their fame. I think he charging them to recoup money and finesse them, to be honest. Because think about it. You pay $5 million to be a citizen, and if you get in trouble prior to becoming a citizen, you still can get deported. So you really lost $5 million. And if I'm not mistaken, it takes at least 10 years to become a citizen, which is true. Which is true. The point of the matter is people like that. He says, it's hella people here illegally. I guess they saying might as well make some money. We got Hispanics, Asians, Ukrainian, and people we made citizens from being prisoners of war or helping us do shady-ish. That's the mindset of some people. That's a live read. And I just invited them on the show. That's a lot. That is the mindset. And I don't even want to read Earl's stuff. Earl needs to come on so we can have this conversation. But it's okay because we've done this in the past. That shit wasn't okay. That doesn't make it all right to do what he wants to do now. Look.
Let me ask you this question. I got a question for you. Would it have made a difference if the process that doing now so quickly was slowed down?
Would it make a difference?
Yeah.
I would say this.
Right now they're purging people left and right.
Yeah. I would say if you took the time to dissect who actually needs to be taken released, okay. But right now, like he said, he's taking a chainsaw to everything without regard to what's in the tree or what type of tree it is. And then trying to put that tree back together when it happens to be a very important tree or an endangered species tree or a last of its kind tree or one of a kind tree. Okay. So yeah, it makes a difference. Again, I don't mind trimming some workers that have proven to be malcontents, disciplinary, been in the position way too long. Okay. But if you're bringing in new blood and people that can probably go another 20 years versus the guy or gal that's been there for 20 to 30 years, why cut your nose off to spite your face, like you said? You got a ton of experience, yes. But at some point, those people are going to have to leave because they've been there for so long. And the way you're treating the people that work for them, who's to say they won't be treated next? They won't be treated like that next. There's nothing saying that they won't be treated like that next. That's why I said, I'm not mad at the president. He told everybody what he was going to do from the get-go. From the get-go. And when you got the people that voted for him upset because now they're getting fired, their loved ones getting fired, their families are getting fired, their friends are getting fired. Like you said, Jerry, what you thought was going to happen?
Walks like a duck, looks like this, and sounds like a duck. What is it?
A duck.
A duck. How can you be surprised?
I mean, like, I don't like the way things are going and how they're handling it, but he said he was going to do this. Absolutely. I thought there would be more restraint and not just the first 30 days, like set an inferno.
Hey, he said on day one that he was going on day one he was going to hit the ground running, and regardless. I mean, you got to shake your head at people who voted for him. You got to, regardless of what he said. The blueprint was put out before the election. It's called Project 2025. Yeah. Come on, man, really? And you thought that was a myth? You thought that was?
They didn't believe it. They didn't believe it.
You thought that was a Democratic talking point that they were just saying that?
Hey, Jerry, people, that's what they were told. That's what they were told. So they believed it.
And who was telling them?
Exactly.
Who was telling them?
Fox.
Who was telling them? Come on,
Trump
man.
Campaign.
Come on. Really? And you believed it? Come on. How much has to happen to you, your friends, or your family, or your relatives, or whoever before you believe it?
Jerry, it's going to have to happen to them or someone they're very close to for them to care. And that's the problem I have. And that's why I said my beef is not with the president. My beef is with Elon Musk, who's a regular citizen just like me. He's got crap ton more money. Hey, you okay?
I'm fine.
Okay, I thought you slumped over and was like done.
No,
like, whoa.
I'm just listening to you.
Okay, all right. My beef is with Elon Musk, who is not an appointed official, not an elected official, not a confirmed anything. My beef is with people that voted for him. My beef is with people that sat their asses at home and didn't do a damn thing. 231 million people eligible to vote. 1/3 of that voted for Donald Trump.
And there's a majority of, now I can't say all of them, but a majority of them, especially if you're making less than $1 million or less than 400,000, less than 100,000, are surprised.
Yep.
If you're a millionaire, you're saying you're cheering them on.
Oh, of course.
They took $850 billion or $800 billion in cuts to Medicaid. And you know who's one of the who's several states in the country that are collecting or dealing with Medicaid? And I got nothing against these states, but I'm going to name a few. How about Louisiana? How about Mississippi?
Poorest state in the nation.
How about Arkansas, Alabama? Hello. Come on. And you voted for this and you're surprised? Come on, man. You got to be
Well,
kidding me.
again, and I'll say this, I despise one issue voters. I despise them. Whether I don't care what side you're on, I despise them because if you're only voting for that party or for that person for your one issue, and you're not looking at everything else and how it affects everyone else, not just you, you reap what you sow. You reap what you sow. And I, for one, I get it. I know I'm on the chopping block, you know. It's sad, but at the same time, I'm like, dude, there are worse things in life that other people are going to experience and are experiencing than me.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I was fortunate enough to go on Price is Right and win some money. Live out a dream. A lot of people can't do that. A lot of people won't do that. I've been able to travel the world because I was in the Army. A lot of people won't do that. So I take the approach of, and honestly, if I were so worried about my money, I would have voted for Trump. But I don't, money does not make me. It makes my life comfortable, but it don't make me. And at some point, literally, if I wanted to, I could stop working right now and collect Social Security. Wouldn't do it, but if worse come to worse, I ain't got no problem doing it.
You know what they say in Players Cup, right?
What?
Players
Don't let the money make you? Oh, yeah.
Don't make the money. Make the money, but don't let the money make you. Okay?
Yeah. That's a true, you know what? You need to post that as it pertains to political landscape. But when I look at what's coming down the road,
this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning.
I know. That's what I'm saying. When I look at what's coming down the road, I look at all the despair and the sadness and the mental issues that are going to come up for a lot of people. Just imagine how many young folks entered the federal government that are now about to get kicked out. One, because they went to college, they got the degree, they owe that money. They got the job that was going to help them pay it back, but oh, you ain't been there long enough. Bye. Think about how this is going to, and I'm telling you, I put in one of my group chats. The unemployment line is going to be wrapped around the block. Wrapped around the block. That is going to affect all of these places that have commerce. Business. We didn't even talk about the tariffs. We didn't talk about what the tariffs are about to do to us. So, you know, Miss Kelly Caesar Kemp, you got another topic before I open the floor up to Mr. Taylor? Type it in the message and I'll bring it up and see if we can talk about it. But Mr. Taylor, while she's typing, if she's typing, what are your thoughts on, and that's how I open the show, my thoughts on what's going on politically in the United States? Any particular thing gets you heated, gets you wanting to talk, gets you feeling a certain way?
God. You know, I'm almost against listening to or watching TV. Because all I'm hearing from a lot of right wing politicians are a bunch of lies.
When has that ever stopped?
When is that going to stop?
No, I said, when has that ever stopped?
Well, let me put it this way: they're trying to justify what they're doing, and it's obviously it's not working for the simple fact that these town halls are proving that, and they're not stacked with Democrats. They're not stacked with Democrats. They're a mix, more likely a mix, and I would think that it would be a mix of the same party that the Republicans are, and they're highly upset. The constituents are highly upset. I've watched a few of them, replay a few of them, and you see them dance around a lot of issues. And one constituent in I think it was in Georgia asked the representative from Georgia, "What are you going to do to rein in Trump?"
Yeah, the female. I saw that.
What are you going to do to rein in Trump? And quite naturally, just like most of the Republicans are scared to death to be primaried out, so they won't get reelected the next time they're up for reelection. So they dance around the question and try to justify what their president is doing and what they're agreeing to do in Congress. Now, majority is in the Senate also. And see what kind of backbone some Republican senators have. Are they going to accept the House's budget, or are they going to strip it down to what they like? Huh?
Yeah, they plan to not pass it. That's what I heard.
That's what I'm saying. Are they going to strip it down so it doesn't get passed? Because the House is not going. If they change what the House has proposed,
it has to go back to them.
It has to go back, right? They have to go back to the House for them to accept it.
Yep.
And it's not going to fly because the fact is, this is what their president wants, and whoever doesn't toe the line are supposedly going to pay the price in the Congress.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about Marjorie Taylor Greene saying that there are no good federal employees, even though she's one of them?
I was just about to say that. I find that ironic that she would say something like that. But she get paid by the federal government too, right? So if she get paid. She gets paid by the federal government. What does that make her? I'm just okay, a federal employee. So are you saying that I'm no good also? Meaning Marjorie Taylor Greene? You saying I'm not a good employee also? Come on, man. Come on. They're going to make cuts to the people that don't have a strong voice, the disenfranchised, to pay for $4.2 million. It's going to add to the deficit when they do their tax.
I thought it was trillion.
Did I say billion or million?
You said million.
I'm sorry, 4.2 trillion to the deficit. Now the last time.
That's why I asked him to raise the debt ceiling before he even became president.
Yes. And let me put it this way. The last time your president, and he's not my president, but your president was in office, and I'm not saying your president, but anybody that's MAGA, it's your president. You voted for him. You asked for this. It was almost $8 trillion to the national debt. In 4 years. The biggest the biggest deficit in history. 8.4, I think it was almost $8 trillion. And now he's going to add 4.2 trillion to the dollar. So
in the first month.
in the first month, exactly. So we're talking about $12 trillion to the deficit, over $12 trillion. Okay, and this is typical Trump economics. Borrow, borrow, borrow,
Bail.
and when it comes to trying to pay it back, walk away.
Yeah, that's what I said. Bail.
Yeah.
Bail.
Walk away. And let the lawyers handle it. Let the lawyers handle it. Ain't got nothing to do with me.
But now it's gonna be let the country deal with it. You know,
I wonder what's going to happen when we go into recession, because it's coming.
oh hell yeah!
Oh, it's coming.
People thinking that the rates are going to drop soon.
Your groceries, gas. Come on, man. That ain't happening.
If all of these people, or when, because not if, when all these people get riffed and fired, because that's after they think about this. I want you to understand this. They're firing people now. They're going to continue firing people. When they do the riff, a lot of people would have been fired. The riff is going to take half of what's left out.
And
people think that there's going to be low interest rates. Gas is going to be cheap. And by the way, for those that think he's going to fix the air crisis, Joe Biden already fixed the air crisis before he got out. Mm-hmm. He actually had a deal, or has a deal in place by, I believe, June, to have a shit ton of eggs delivered to the United States. You don't believe me? Look it up. Joe Biden made a deal before he got out of office to have, I forgot what country he made the deal with. I forgot. Turkey, somewhere over there, that will send a crap ton of eggs to the United States to deal with the egg issue. Do not let Trump take credit for that.
Oh, he's going to claim. He's going to claim.
Oh, I know he is. Oh, come on. That's what I'm saying. Look it up. You don't believe me? Look it up.
And let me put it this way. I think unemployment is at 3%, 3.5%.
Oh like man, that thing about to go to 20.
Exactly. And the question is, you're going to talk to Trump and ask him about the crisis in unemployment, because it's going to go up quite naturally when you laying up all these people.
He's going to blame Biden somehow. Yeah. And then some stupid people are going to believe him.
Yeah.
They're going to freak. Bro, that's why I said I can't be mad at him. I can only be mad at the people that support him, because they continue to look past all the lies.
Like I said, you tell a lie as many times as you want. People are going to start believing it as the truth.
They will.
Plain and simple. People are going to start believing it as the truth.
They will.
And
what else you got before I get ready to wrap this up?
I got nothing else, man. I just I'm looking forward to a little getting away from this and being able to watch the combine. I'll be up on Saturday, or I'm gonna be up on Sunday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
What I tell you, we don't do that no more. We don't do that no more. When you ain't playing baseball, you ain't doing nothing. You playing baseball? You playing fantasy baseball? I told you last time. unless you play baseball, that's not going to happen.
Whatever. I could care. I could care less. I'm not like that, but whatever.
I am. But anyway.
I'll never be like that.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, next Tuesday, I'll be doing the political show. Next Thursday, I will be doing the sports show, recapping what we saw at the Combine, as well as free agency started, right? Or free agency starts what? Free agency starts on the 4th, which is Tuesday. So by Thursday, I'll probably have some free agency news to talk about. What's wrong with you? Oh, it's the 12th, isn't it? Is it the 12th?
I'm not giving any information out.
You see how petty you are?
No. I mean, one good turn deserves another. That's all I got to say.
No, it's not a good turn. I'm just saying. I already told you last time that unless you're playing baseball,
Come on, man.
Yeah. But I want to thank my long time. I've known this young lady since junior high school. That's how long I've known her. So just imagine how long ago that is, Mr. Taylor. But I want to thank Miss Kelly Caesar Kemp, for joining us and participating. But it's been a long time. Wishing you well and success and a happy life with your spouse and all that. Thank you for joining in. I want to thank Mr. Tim Ortiz for checking out the show and Mr. Taylor for coming on. I thought he was going to be more passionate about his politics, but I guess those days are done. You can't stomach it no more?
No. I mean, look, when, like I said, if it looks like a duck, talks like a duck, and quacks like a duck, it's a duck. And anybody that likes ducks like that deserves what they get. The chicken. And I'll go this way. People have, instead of saying the chickens have come home to roost, the ducks have come home to roost. Okay?
Waddle, waddle, quack, quack.
Yep.
Well, can we make it through 4? Because the first 4 years, because the first month, woo! Oh my gosh. I didn't even talk about, and I probably should have, I'll do this most likely on Tuesday, RFK J and the measles situation in Texas. How the kid that died, and his fact was accurate, saying that, okay, last year we had 60 people die from measles, so this isn't uncommon. But the cavalier way he said it was like, okay, he died, but it's normal. So shit happens. I'm like, dude, look, if a pandemic breaks out of any type, we are all fucked.
That's true. I mean, I'm not surprised by any of this administration. They don't care. They do not care. That they don't care about the average person. Not at all. If you ain't making $1 million or up, you don't count. You don't count.
Apparently. Well, I didn't mean to jump into another subject, but yeah, time to get out of here. Again, thank you for joining me, Mr. Taylor. If I see you Tuesday, cool. If I don't, so be it. But everybody, that saying people say of why do you take politics so seriously? What's going on right now is a prime example as to why I take politics so seriously. So very serious. Local politicians, yes, but national leaders, take them just as serious because they're the ones influencing your local politicians to do whatever it is they're doing. With that being said, thank you, everybody. It's been fun. And it's time to say goodbye. Enjoy your night, Mr. Taylor. Do it again.
Fantasy, sports, and politics.
Get ready to rumble! You wanna talk smack? You in the right place. So take a step back before I get all up in your
Remember,
face.
because I don't remember. I remember every bit of this.
You're the dudes holding on the phone line. Your voice will be heard, sir.
Next caller, please.
Oh!
Taylor's gonna get him.
Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics.
Listeners are asking questions about this week's games, not Jerry's personal beef. So what's your thought?